The dead relay just sent a message stamped 4 hours into the future. Mara stared at the time code, coffee cooling, the graveyard shift silent around her. Perseus had been struck off the logs before she was born, and it was still talking. She was alone in the Goldstone control room, one operator babysitting antennas that mostly listened to nothing. The carrier was faint, a thread of signal from the cold edge of Mars' orbit. Officially, nothing lived out there. Officially. Mara pulled the raw stream anyway. Curiosity was her worst habit and her best one. The tone was old X-band, degraded, straining through decades of dust and distance. A machine whispering to itself. But machines don't whisper names. The packet header carried a call sign she only knew from history class. Anansi, the first crew to break Mars' orbit, and the first to never come home. 40 years gone. Their relay, Perseus, had kept their frequency alive like a heartbeat nobody switched off. She checked the archive. Perseus was decommissioned decades ago, powered down, its mission closed with a paragraph and a moment of silence. No one had listened on this band in years. Yet here it was, buffering, stamping, sending, faithful to the dead. Mara knew the machinery. A relay doesn't speak live. It catches data from below, holds it, forwards it on a later pass. Store and forward. Old packets could surface hours, even years late, echoes shaken loose from a failing buffer. That explained the voices. Almost. What it didn't explain was the clock. Every packet wore a timestamp from Perseus's onboard counter, a number that just kept counting, untended, no human aboard. 40 years of drift. By now its time should be badly, predictably, wrong. She did the math. Drift is boring. That's why it's honest. An abandoned clock runs fast or slow, but steadily, you can chart the error and know exactly how wrong it will be. Mara plotted the curve. Every old packet landed right on it. Every single one. For decades. Except one. The newest packet sat far off the curve. Its timestamp too fresh, too advanced, as if Perseus's clock had leapt forward. Not drift. A jump. Something had set that number, or fed the buffer data it was never holding before. She reminded herself of the delay. Mars sat minutes away at light speed. 3, 20, depending on the sky. Nothing out there could answer in real time. Every message was already history the instant she read it. A reply was impossible. This wasn't a reply. Protocol was simple. Log the anomaly, wake her supervisor, hand it up the chain. Mara's cursor hovered over the report field. If she flagged it and it was nothing, she was the operator who panicked over a glitchy old buffer. If she didn't, the console chimed, a second packet, then a third. They arrived out of order, duplicated, tumbling, exactly how a broken buffer dumps its guts. She almost relaxed. Then she read the payload, and her hands went cold on the desk. It wasn't telemetry, not pressure readings or star fixes. It was text, fragmentary, human, addressed outward. Relay confirm. We are holding. Awaiting window. The phrasing of a crew waiting for a chance to transmit home. Words the Anansi would have sent. 40 years ago. Old words, she told herself. Just old words, stored and looped, a machine replaying its last living instructions into an empty sky. Radio doesn't carry people. It carries data. The Anansi were gone. This was their echo, not their voice. She believed that. Mostly. But looped data repeats. This didn't repeat. Each packet said something new. A next line. A continuation. A crew counting down to a window that, by their broken clock, was arriving now. Something was composing, or something was still keeping their place in the story. Mara understood suddenly what the leaping timestamp meant. Perseus wasn't just replaying. Its buffer had received something, a fresh proximity link, a short-range whisper from below its orbit, the way a surface craft calls up to a passing relay. From the surface, where nothing survived. That was insane. There was no craft, no crew, no lander down there. Only 40 years of red dust over a mission that failed. She ran the geometry twice. The uplink angle was real. Something under Perseus had reached up and asked it to carry a message. The newest packet finished decoding. One line, patient and terrible. Perseus, we see your light. Confirm you can still reach home. Not history. Not a loop. A question. waiting minutes across the dark for an answer only Mara's antenna could give. She could transmit one command, and Goldstone would throw its voice at Mars, tell whatever was down there that yes, the light still reached home. Her hand hovered. Answer it. And she'd never know if she'd comforted a ghost or woken something. Say nothing, and Mara thought about the Anansi. 6 names on a plaque, a crew that left orbit and vanished into the channel's own legend. Everyone who'd searched for them was dead now too. She was the last one listening. Whatever this was, it had waited 40 years for a reply. She typed it herself. Perseus, this is Earth. Your light reaches home. We hear you. She held the cursor over send, heart loud in the empty room, and pressed it before doubt could win. The command left the dish. Now, minutes, only minutes, and the terrible wait. 3 minutes out, 3 minutes back, if anything answered. Mara watched the clock she trusted now more than Perseus's, counted the light crawling to Mars and maybe crawling back. The carrier held steady, faint, alive, waiting with her in the dark. At 6 minutes and 11 seconds, the console chimed. 1 packet, 1 timestamp, and this one matched her clock exactly to the second, as if set by a hand that knew what time it was on Earth. The payload was 2 words. Thank you. Mara never filed the report. Some nights she still tunes to that band and finds the carrier, faint and faithful, stamping the hour onto messages no one can prove are new. A machine outlived its makers and its crew. It isn't proof anyone survived, but it's still keeping time for someone.